Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Strategy Game Podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Shippey, and today we're talking about another weed in the way for those of you who have not yet been a part of this series. The weeds in the way are a part of my book called Seen, Known, and Heard. And this is just really a series of topics that came to me when I was evaluating my own self and my own growth and thinking through, gosh, what stands in the way of me becoming more free and clear to really show up for the people in my life, to do life well in terms of just business ventures and all those things. And I started to have these like different themes highlighted to me, and I've done a couple workshops on it, which has been really cool to see people get free or people get clarity. And, at Storywork, we always talk about like, we're all about clarity, right? We're all about peace of mind. We're all about freedom and getting free in our lives and businesses so that we can run and we can like run in our lane and walk with purpose. So today we're talking about assumptions and judgments. This is one that I really can be sneaky. And I observe this in my own self all the time. And I mean, I'm still guilty of this. Like it's just a constant, kind of reset that's needed. But I want to start this episode with a question because this happens to me. This has happened to me before. Have you ever been talking to somebody and you're not fully hearing what they're saying in the moment because you heard them say a particular word or phrase and your mind started to automatically classify what they've said into a category? And therefore, it's like you're automatically putting them in this box, but you don't even know you're doing it. It's really crazy how fast that can happen. And when I started thinking about this, I was like, yep, those are assumptions. The assumptions are often unprompted, and they can be just based on a number of diverse things for us, such as our past experiences in life, maybe people we know like them, political or religious beliefs, or how we have curated our news and social media feeds, and so many more things. And so, as we're seeing people throughout the day, whether words are used or not, we're probably making a whole bunch of assumptions about these people, just everything from surface level demographics, like socioeconomic status, background, upbringing, education. We also might be subconsciously or consciously making assumptions about their philosophies and worldview, such as faith, political orientation, right? Stance on social issues. We all have these biases, whether we acknowledge them consciously or not. And we all have triggers that create associations with past wounds and hurts. And so, as I was slowing down and paying attention to this, as I was writing the book, I was thinking, like, wow, this is like a really powerful thing, like, and not in a good way, Um, and so then I just started thinking about like how I do this. And I started observing myself in relationships and when I do this and why, just kind of thinking about like, all right, well, why do I think that? Or why does that come up for me? Or where does that come from? Or what in my background like makes me think like that? And so it's just been really interesting to start paying attention to it. The reason I'm calling this one out is because assumptions can be dangerous because they can be wrong. And if we have not been able to clarify, they can lead to judgments. And judgments are like a more permanent, like, let me settle in here on what I think of you and what box you fit in. And that is dangerous because the truth is, if we really kind of zoom out, each one of us is created so differently, so uniquely. There's not, I always say this, but there's not another human on the planet that's exactly like you. There's not. And so each of us is so uniquely wired that the danger of making assumptions that lead to judgments is that we may not be seeing clearly. It's like putting on glasses that are really dirty and you can't see them, and it makes everything that you're looking at foggy. And so if we're viewing people through that dirt or that like that you know, whatever it is that's blocking our glasses or clouding them, then we're not really able to see who they truly are. And that is such a disservice to them and also to us, though, you know, because we can't fully really enjoy our relationships. We can't receive the way that, you know, maybe we could if we were able to clear out some of those assumptions and judgments. So the charge here in this episode is just to maybe take an account, like just stop and think about, start observing a little bit yourself this week on what assumptions or judgments am I making, or how does that process work for me? Like, am I making some and I don't even know it? You know, is there stuff that my brain automatically does that I'm not noticing? And I think if we can make space for each other to ask questions of others in a non-judgmental manner, so we can really hear where they are with something, just being curious, that's a big thing I know that's been, you know, been highlighted quite a bit. Just be curious. It allows us to communicate with a person without offense. You know, if we're coming, I think people are just, you know, more discerning and perceptive, and I think if we're coming with a willing spirit to and a release of control, we can listen and ask questions to take in that information and process it. So I think that overall, being quick to hear and slow to speak is always a great default. And it's such a good reminder, you know, it's such a good reminder for me, even recording this, because I'm talking about, you know, I'm thinking through like how I do this, and you can always go back to this, right? So, you know, I think if we're not rushing to defend ourselves or maintain our own thoughts and opinions, and we can hold our thoughts and opinions, but we don't have to necessarily enter a fight, right? We don't have to enter the fight or the back and forth of something. We can simply just listen and to someone who's, you know, perspective that's different from ours. And so even when we come away from a conversation, you know, it might be helpful to think through, well, what did I see in that person that didn't fit in with my assumption or judgment that I previously maybe held about them? That might be a great question to ask yourself, like a great practice, because we're constantly learning new things about each other if we're willing to see, know, and hear each other. And it's so great because let me tell you, um, there's so much freedom that comes with that. Like, we get to provide freedom for others. Like, they feel, you know, probably safer talking to us because they know we're not going to be just eyeing them up and trying to judge them the whole time. Um, and so that really creates just a freedom for them to be able to share where they are. And then, you know, we get to do the same. And so I think it's just such a great thing to practice. And so you know, I think kind of this visual as we close out is just what do you need to clear off of your glasses? Like, it's, you know, when you like wipe your glasses on your shirt to try to get them clear, and then put them back on and you can see. So just pay attention this week to where you need to clean your glasses in certain relationships, and I think you'll be better for it. And so I hope this was encouraging to you. And as always, if you want more of this type of content and services, you can head to www.storywork.co. Thanks so much.